beautiful. She has these big white orbs in her eyes.
One said it was a barn and the others they said nay. One said it was a church with the steeple cut away.
Shadow people standing around. The devil made me do it, but they think there's no substance to that. I mean, there's amount of evidence back they they're supposed to be seen, heard, felt, but it's all in the receiver. You had people experiencing
one said it was a girl and the others they said nay. One said it was an angel with her wings cut away. The next thing they'd find was an owl in a hollow, and that they left behind.
Welcome back to the Grand Dark Conspiracy on Fate Radio at fateradio.com. It's my distinct pleasure to come to you this November 1st, 2010 here on Fate Radio. I want to thank everybody who's come out to listen to the show tonight as it premieres. Also, I want to thank to everybody who's downloading the show. I hope you all enjoy the show that we've got lined up. I was real excited to get this interview. Scott A. Johnson is joining the Grand Dark Conspiracy. We're going to perform a little bit of a post-mortem on Halloween, a little bit of a Halloween wrap-up show. So a little bit of chills, a little bit talk about ghosts and whatnot here with Scott A. Johnson. If you're not familiar with Mr. Johnson, he is the author of several books. He's a horror author. He writes fiction, and both fiction and nonfiction. His latest book is Vermin, Book 1 of the Stanley Cooper Chronicles. But he's also written several books on the paranormal, like Cold Spots, Haunted Austin, Cold Spots, San Antonio, and The Mayor's Guide to the Stately Ghost of Augusta. So he's pretty prolific in that effect. He's also contributed several short stories or even stories to other books, as well as he is also the paranormal studies editor for the website dreadcentral.com. And if you're not familiar with that, it's a horror-related website that focuses primarily on movies and fiction, but it also has the real thing there as well. And he is a teacher at the Seton Hill University with an advanced master's course in writing. So, pretty prolific guy, really great. Get the opportunity to talk to him. I hope you all enjoy the interview coming up with him. It was a real pleasure to get to speak with him, so I hope you do enjoy the interview. I will have links up to his website, AmericanHorrorWriter.net. It's up right now on GrandDarkConspiracy.com. I also have links up to all his books that he has out currently that are available on our homepage as well. And as always, on our homepage, we have up the upcoming guest for the Grand Dark Conspiracy, which I've got a pretty good slate coming up here for the month of November, starting with Mr. Scott A. Johnson that we'll be talking to here briefly. But I do have a nice slate of guests already booked. We're booked all the way through the end of the month here, so I'm going to give you a brief rundown on what's coming up on the Grand Dark Conspiracy for the month of November. Up next week on the 8th, we've got Giorgio A. Sokolos, and we're going to be talking about Eric von Daniken's book, Twilight of the Gods. And on the 15th, we've got Nick Redfern, and we're going to be discussing his book, Final Events, and the Secret Government Group on Demonic UFOs and the Afterlife. So that one should be really interesting. And then following that up, we've got on the 22nd, Robert Murch, and we'll be talking about Ouija boards with him. And then on the 29th, we've got Bill Yin to talk about his book, Hitler's Master of the Dark Arts, the rise of Heinrich Himmler in the SS, and the use of the occult. We're going to be discussing all of that with him. So that is the month of November. And December, it's starting to shape itself out. We've got Nigel Kerner coming on, and he'll be discussing his book, Gray Aliens and the Harvesting of Souls, the conspiracy to genetically tamper with humanity. So that should be a really interesting show. We're trying to get Bob Curran back on, Dr. Bob Curran back on to discuss his upcoming book here at the end of November. So if you have any suggestions for guests or anybody that you'd like to hear interviewed here on the Grand Dark Conspiracy, please email me at webmaster@granddarkconspiracy.com. Or you can contact us through our Ning network, which is thegdc.ning.com, or there's links up on our homepage, of course. And you can sign up for the Ning network. There you'll get updates for when the podcast is available for download. You'll get updates for news about guests that are confirmed for the show, or anything that's concerning the Grand Dark Conspiracy, as well as you can interface with Grand Dark Conspiracy listeners about whatever you want to discuss on there. There's space for a blog. I've been posting a weekly blog, and I'm going to do a blog on UFOs this week. Last week I did one on Halloween. The week prior was Ouija boards, and the week before that it was something else. I can't remember. But you can come out and join that, and it can become a whole great Grand Dark Conspiracy community for everyone to share their thoughts and ideas on the paranormal, and also get updates about the show, upcoming things. I also have posted a video from a listener who submitted to us his annual Halloween video. Thanks again, Archimedes. I loved it. And if you haven't gotten the chance to check it out, it's there on our Ning network. And it's also... Yeah, it's there on our Ning network, and I think we have it linked up at Facebook. And if you want to friend us at Facebook, that would be awesome. We're at facebook.com/Grand Dark Conspiracy. Also, with the Ning network, it would be really cool if you want to hear one of your personal experiences, whether it's ghosts or a Bigfoot sighting. If you have a really cool paranormal story that you would like to hear turned into a campfire tale, you can put that up at the gdc.ning.com, or you can email it directly to me at webmaster@granddarkconspiracy.com. So I really would like to encourage everybody to kind of participate in this. A little bit of tidbit of information about the Grand Dark Conspiracy going live. I'm really targeting December and bringing our interviews up live. So that could be a lot of fun, I think. Also, it's going to... A lot of logistics need to be... put in place and whatever. I have to make sure everything's in place. But it seems to me that the overwhelming majority of my listeners, especially the ones that come out to Fate Radio, would like the opportunity to interact live with the guest. So when a guest is available to me to do that, I think I'm going to shoot for December to make that happen. It doesn't mean that I'll stop pre-recording interviews per se, but I'm hoping to get the majority on live so you, the listeners, can get your questions asked during the interview, and you can kind of, get into more in depth how you want to into what the guests are saying. So I don't want to delay any further. I'm going to bring on our good friend here to give us the paranormal news, which you can find on Grand Dark Conspiracy's Paranexus feed at the news page. Here's Brian Parsons.
The Paranormal News Insider from ParanewsInsider.com. Presented by GrandDarkConspiracy.com.
Welcome to the Paranormal News Insider Report for November 1st, 2010. In Cryptid News, we finally have an answer to the mysterious Chupacabra. According to Barry O'Connor, a biologist at the University of Michigan, most of these animals are nothing more than coyotes with mange. Wow, I had no idea. Unfortunately for Barry O'Connor, chupacabras were first reported in Puerto Rico, where there are no coyote populations. A picture has surfaced of a potential close-up encounter with a Bigfoot in the Rocky Mountain area. Todd Standing, a apparently has been able to mingle closely yet carefully with a group of Bigfoot for several months. He is apprehensive about giving up too much information for fear that these animals would be hunted and killed. Well, if it looks like a hoax, sounds like a hoax, it must be a hoax. In other news, Virgin Galactic, the space tourism company set up by Sir Richard Branson, has opened the first spaceport runway in the desert of New Mexico. Branson plans to operate flights from the spaceport, with the first flights taking place within the next 18 months. No word on how much it will cost for carry-on luggage, or if he will be able to get deals with Space Miles. Links to these stories can be found in the Paranexus Anomalous newsfeed, which I personally update for Paranexus at paranexus.org or at paranewsinsider.com. Questions, comments can be directed to Insider at paranewsinsider.com. Okay, enough with the cell phone time traveler pictures already. If you haven't seen these, go and look at them. They're ridiculous. Just because we don't understand the everyday culture of the time frames of the movies and photos of people holding objects does not necessarily mean we jump to the conclusion that they are using a cell phone. Since time travel has not yet been invented and doesn't look to be in the foreseeable future, not to mention how cell phone technology is advancing, do we really expect to see people using today's technology? Then again, how could they use this technology without cell towers or satellites? Where is the reasoning here? We seriously need to sharpen Occam's razor so we can cut these illogical conclusions based on speculation and wishful thinking. Again, more garbage that tarnishes the paranormal subject by those who wish they were journalists. And lastly, I would like to thank Eric and the staff at the Westerville Library in Westerville, Ohio, on the outskirts of Columbus, for Thursday's October 28th event and having me as a guest. I had a great time speaking and interacting with the crowd, and I hope I left a positive impact on everyone in attendance. Conferences, conventions, festivals, and other paranormal gatherings. Well, I don't have anything else here in 2010. And again, we were talking last week about some events in 2011, starting with the Haunted America West Coast Conference in San Diego in February, and the Phenomenology 103 in March in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and the Butler Paranormal Conference in Butler, Pennsylvania on April 2nd. If you know of any event and would like to hear it here, let me know at Insider at paranewsinsider.com, and I'll be sure to get that event posted on the website as well as talk about it here on the Paranormal News Insider. Just to let you know, we are not associated in any way with any event listed unless otherwise stated. We cannot guarantee any information provided. Please check with the appropriate website for particular information. For more information on these conferences and conventions, visit our events page at paranewsinsider.com. Be sure to visit the Grand Dark Conspiracy Network at thegdc.ning.com, on Facebook, and live every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on fatemag.com/Fate Radio. I'll see you there, and I'll see you next week on the Grand Dark Conspiracy on Fate Radio. For the Paranormal News Insider, I'm Brian Parsons.
Our intro theme is by Anta Reed, Investigating the Phantom Signal, and is provided by the Podcast Music Network at podcastsafemusic.com.
And relax at this campfire tale from the Grand Dark Conspiracy.